YouTube Tone back with another one for you, and this here another continuation on common law abatement. Awesome information here. This is about a affidavit of denial of corporate existence, right? And then I also, if you scroll down, you see I have another form of affidavit, affidavit of denial of operating in commerce and shit like that. That's a video of the shit that I actually have here that I filed into a case one time. I never even got to use it because I went in a different direction. But let me tell you something, man. When I went into court and I mean, you even see it there too. It's stamped because the bitch stamped it. It was on top of the pile of other shit I was about to file onto the record that they didn't want to let me file at first, and I had to go back a couple days later with a fucking affidavit of clerk demanding that she does her fucking job because she tried to tell me that I couldn't file my own fucking defense onto the record, that I have to have a hearing to see if I could file it. Oh fucking really? You're gonna tell me that I can't file my own fucking defense into the fucking record, and you're the clerk and your only fucking job is to file paperwork? Get the fuck out of here. So I went back with the clerk demand letter with a list of the fucking US code that states that she's obligated to do her job and what the criminal penalties are for her not doing her job. And then I left room on the paper for her to say to write down why she didn't feel she had to do her job, and essentially would have led to the reason why she had to be finding another fucking job, right? So let me tell you, once I went in there with this shit, that bitch got weak in the knees. She got her fucking knees buckled, bro. Straight up. So to the point that I laughed and took it back, because it was a couple days from then that I had a hearing anyway. I was like, you know what, just give it back. I'll just talk to the judges when I come a couple days later. I went in a couple days later, and they switched like 5 judges while I was sitting there, and I was the last one to get called up before I went up, and there was no judges in there anymore. It was 2 dudes in fucking polo shirts, and they threw the lawyer that was there that they were gonna try to fucking assign me. They threw him into the fucking lockup box. So took him off the plane, and it was just me talking to these 2 dudes and shit. I was still new, so I was like, what the fuck? And it had to do with the driving license shit and all that. And so I just, at that point, I was kind of stunned, but now I understand what it was that was happening. They were operating in the capacity of a chancellor at that point, because they didn't have the black robes on or none of that. So they were operating in their private capacity as a chancellor rather than as a magistrate or clerk magistrate, as they would have been operating otherwise. And it was clear because they switched 1,000 judges before. And every time a judge gets up and leaves the room and comes back in, the jurisdiction changes. So you have to be clear to specify or have them specify for the record which jurisdiction that they're under at that point in time, because they like to play stupid ass games like that. So anyway, moving on. Let's get into this paper here. So registered mail number. You want to send that registered for sure, because then you're under common law at that point. Certified mail is under their fucking administrative rules, so they can still fuck around with it. Registered mail, they cannot fuck around with that. So affidavit of your full name, page 1 of 2. Affidavit of denial of corporate existence of your name, upper lowercase, 1 of your name, upper lowercase, the live man and the state of birth, exempt herein, affiant, declares the state of the following facts are true and to the best of my knowledge and belief, and of which one has first-hand knowledge of the matter stated herein. 1, your name. Is the age of majority and competent to testify on the matter stated herein. If any man or woman desires to answer this affidavit, please do so in the manner of this instrument. By notarized affidavit using your Christian or family name for signature and mail to the below named notary, address provided within 5 days, or default will be obtained. Your handwritten signature only. Do not type it out. This is for them. You're giving them fucking orders here at this point. Just like I was telling you, you have to make them fucking write to you in the form of an affidavit. If not, they can say whatever the fuck they want, and they can even switch the court minutes, the court records, and things like that to make it look like something totally different happened inside that courtroom, right? Because they're supposed to hold all of the court records, the transcriptions of all the court cases in a safe for 20 years in the basement for review of a justice, if at any point we can, we file to have the cases looked over for whatever reason, right? So Affiant hereby denies that the following corporations exist and their capacity to sue or be sued is challenged by negative averment pursuant FRCP 9A. The United States, aka the United States of America, the state of, the all cap letter name, the county of, the all caps, name, city, all bar associations, the United States District Court, your name, all caps, of, address, city name, state name, and all other corporate members who are or may be associated with any complaints against my natural body. Number 2, 1. Your name has no contract with the state or federal governments which give equity jurisdiction to the courts. 1 has no bank account, no credit cards. 1 has rescinded the government's social security number and any present or future benefits of that socialist system for religious conviction. Right? Number 4, 1. Your name has been signed into international maritime agreement with the state of or federal governments, either intentionally, willingly, or knowingly, which would give has no intentional international maritime agreement with the state of or federal governments, either intentional, willingly, or knowingly, which would give admiralty or vice admiralty jurisdiction to the courts of either the state or the federal governments, and does not voluntarily submit to any of those jurisdictions. Number 5, 1. Your name is subject only to the common law of the Republic of your state and the United States of America, and is not subject to any corporation or its system of administrative law. Number 6, 1. Your name is not a corporation or member of a corporation, a trustee or beneficiary of any trust created by the government, is not a legal fiction or a juristic personality, refutes any unknown nexus, which means connection, which might attach him to any of such entity or jurisdiction. Right? Because they're going to try to connect you into a fucking adhesion contract some way, shape, or form. They're going to try to fucking get you into it because they have to. Because they have nothing otherwise. Right? So they're going to try to trick you. It's all just a bunch of fucking games. So number 7, 1. Your name cannot be held in voluntary servitude or peonage pursuant to 13th Amendment of the United States Constitution. Number 8. 1 cannot be held as surety or collateral for any bankruptcy of the corporate, federal, or state governments without my permission, which has never been given. Number 9, 1. Your name has never applied for bankruptcy and never given his permission to the state or federal governments for his participation in any bankruptcy scheme or the federal, state governments, or the Federal Reserve Bank, Inc. 10, 1. Your name is a live, natural man living upon the soil of the sovereign republic of Massachusetts, ho. Number 11, 1. Your name is not subject to federal law legislated by Congress under its authority or Article 4 of the Constitution of the United States or state or federal admiralty, equity, judicial jurisdiction. Number 12, 1. Your name is subject only to the law legislated by Congress under its authority or Article 1 of the Constitution for the United States. If the law has complied with the Paperwork Reduction Act and the Administrative Procedures Act of the Federal Register Act, which would specifically identify the law as being applicable to the general population of the 50 Union States of America. Number 13, 1. Your name is subject only to a Republican form of government pursuant to the national constitution of the Constitution of your state. All your state's constitutions have your Bill of Rights. That's what your Bill of Rights is. You don't make reference to the United States fucking Constitution at all because you're not a party to it. They are. You're not. Under the equal footing doctrine of the Constitution for the United States of America, not under a corporate, municipal, for quasi-military form of government known as either a democracy or martial rule. Further, Affiant says not. Your full name, jury, jury capacity, that's your lawful capacity. No, the notarial certification, and then here in the bottom is all the information that will go along with that for the notary there. And then here in the last part, it says for information only, and you should know this, information only. Do not include on your affidavit. Do not replace 1 with I, as I is not you. It is merely a signifier of a number of entity. Use the notary address for their response to you, not your own. If within 5 days of their receiving the affidavit, they do not answer, type up a notice of default and send it to them. The notary is the one who signs the default notice. Notary is a magistrate. They fucking lose. 3 copies of this affidavit should be preferably handwritten. 1 copy forwarded to the U.S. attorney in the time. Give them 5 days to respond and send it registered mail so that they have to sign for it. One copy should be kept on you when you go into court. 30 minutes before you enter into court, file one with their court record at the clerk's office. Have the clerk stamp it, and the other keep with you in court in case the prosecutor and judge have not received their copies yet. This is how you're gonna. This is how you gotta get down. And I mean, if you want to win the fucking case, this is how you're gonna do it. That's exactly how you're gonna do it. So keep that in mind. And I mean, you know, like, this shit really does work. And so even when you bring it in and shit like that, they know what time it is. And if you just seen the look on this woman's face when I brought it in there, yo, you already know that their worst fear is for you to wake up and realize how powerful that you actually are. They're scared to fucking death of it. Why? Because they've been fucking trampling everybody's rights for so long. So fucking long. That they know all of that agony and the pain and all the fucking disrespect is gonna come right the fuck back tumbling down on their head any fucking day. And I think that day has come. So it is a game of chess. Stop playing fucking checkers with these assholes. That's what I got for you for now. Until we meet again.